this is what I made. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Just
You get a big old pancake LED on the back.
bro.
That'd be crazy.
Put Aunt Jemima behind me.
Yep.
All right. I wanted to block my whole face, my facilia. Is that even a Spanish word?
No.
Facil?
No.
Facilia.
Facilia.
That's definitely a word.
It sounds romantic though.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm looking it up.
I don't think that's a word.
I'm gonna be real. I think that's actually face, bro.
It sounds more like facility.
Facilia. Facilia.
I don't think you add Ilya to anything.
Nothing. Nothing came up.
That ain't gonna work.
It might be a Latin word. I don't know.
Facilia.
Bro, you tell me it don't sound right?
You know, it sounds great.
My facilia.
Start collecting words and create a new language.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Drive. It's your boy Joshwayy, and I'm here with the one and only.
Just say me.
Just say me. Just say what?
Yeah, just say my name.
Just say my name. Say my name. Hey. But you know, hey, I got the one and only right here in the building with me, and I appreciate you for joining me.
Pleasure, bro.
Like for real, like
always.
From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate it. This is like grassroots, the beginning of my podcast.
Trying to be a part of history, bro.
Hey, that's what we're doing right now. We're making history right now, and I appreciate that, bro. So, as you know, my podcast is called Drive. It's a motivational podcast, and I want to dig deep into your life. You know, we can go as far as you want to go. We can, delve into certain topics and things like that. But I just want to take the perspective of someone that did an interesting line of work, and my perspective of streaming. That was been a huge thing for the last few years. Something that I wanted to go into. Something that my younger brother was trying to get into with the Elgatos and all that. Like a lot. He was in it, bro. My man's name was Abstract Accuracy. Look it up, Abstract Accuracy on YouTube. He might have like 4 clips, but hey, shout out to you, little bro.
Hey, there we go.
But I've always saw streamers as a very unique way of just living, a very unique way of viewing the world and making money. You know what I mean? Right. And I wanna learn about that. Okay. So first thing I want to do though is get a little history on you, bro. Like, where you from? Born and raised. What was that like? Paint the picture.
Born and raised on the opposite side of streaming. Actually, I was born and raised like in Hanford, California. That's up there by Bakersfield.
I'm about to say I've never heard of Hanford in my life.
We barely even had Wi-Fi out there, let alone to be able to even think about that. But then I moved down to Marina Valley, actually over here. Grew up with the school out here with a big family. You know, started with Generation Church. Back and forth and everything. Obviously, we all grew up. Everybody played video games, so whether it be,
of course,
from Mario Party with your family to Madden with your homeboys, you played some form of video games.
EA Sports.
And and it's like, to be honest, I always grew up with like an entrepreneur type mindset. Never had the desire to work for somebody else.
Absolutely.
So the moment I saw an opportunity to make even for me as a kid, making $10 off of playing video games was already, I made it. That's it. I could have started right there and been cool.
No, I feel that.
But made my first little dollar, and the rest is history from that point.
So so my thing is, you grew up in Hanford, and when you came down here to Mobile, how old were you?
It was like before or right at the start of middle school. So like I would say like 10, 11, something like that.
So what did life look like? Were you like playing sports? Was you involved in school?
So I was always try to be the nerd, but never really had the mindset to be the nerd. So, you know what I'm saying? Like I love playing video games. I love playing basketball. I wanted to do good, but I was focused on like those kind of things growing up.
I was playing sports.
Yeah. So basketball was my go-to. Before I came to Marina Valley, I played football. Fell out of it. Started playing basketball going into high school and all that stuff. So. Definitely into sports. Definitely a big hooper. Had hoop dreams. I always wear shorts under my jeans and everything.
All right, first of all, I feel like everybody did at one point. It was like a 5-year span. Was where everybody had hooping shorts under their jeans.
You had to be ready, bro. You had to have that and a ball
at all times.
Somewhere.
At all times.
Yeah, you be in a library and somebody be like, "1-on-1." Bet.
Runs. Run it.
Strip right there and you ready to go.
In the library?
Yeah, bro. 100%.
First of all,
there's always a basketball court in the back of every building. Even if it's broken.
Low key though, low key, then just be busted up.
Even if it's broken, bro. Even if it's broken, and then that's because you know what I'm saying. You can, instead of fighting somebody, you just be like, bro, ball up. Simple as that.
Word.
And that's how we handle it. That's how we handle beef.
Hooping. Yeah. See, I grew up in the DMV area, DC, Maryland area.
Okay.
we ain't had no beef like that.
Yeah, I told everybody.
I can't imagine like, oh, let's play basketball.
Yeah, no, 100%, bro. And you play hard fouls.
Oh, yeah. God. Wait, did y'all play 21 or 33?
To be honest, it just depends. However mad we were, the more points had to be done. Because
Okay.
had more opportunity to foul.
That's oh my gosh.
I know, it's hard.
That's great. Okay, got you. Okay, so you weren't. So what I'm hearing right now, you grew up very similar to me. You know, grew up playing sports. You know, all that. I haven't really heard anything in the creative side yet.
Yeah, so that touched on like the beginning of high school. So back then, before TikTok, everybody know TikTok. It was a platform called Vine, which TikTok, which TikTok kind of stole the shine from. So when Vine came to be in high school, mind you, we was young. Nobody really had this is right after the Sidekick phase, so that kind of shows my age. But right after the Sidekick cell phone phase, when we went
the flip joint.
Yes. So right after that, we went into the age of real cell phones that are like smartphones where you can watch videos.
Yep.
And then this platform came out, 6-second short videos.
Yep.
And you had 6 seconds to be creative, put the pressure on you. So
that's pressure.
Yeah, 100%. Because
6
you got,
seconds?
bro. Yeah, by the time you start the video, the recording's done, and now you like, you know. So you have to fit a whole story in 6 seconds. So me and the homies, everybody would try it. It just for some reason I always had like a presence, a personality.
Okay.
I did my first 6 second. It was cringe. Some little skit I did. You know, back then everybody put on wigs and everybody act like everybody. You know, we did all kinds of.
Please tell me you have some videos.
I do, and they're archived. Vine kept them up for some reason. If you look it up, they're there.
No, I don't need to look them up. You're going to send me those.
Oh my
God. You're going to send me.
I got them, and it's okay.
And we're going to put them up right here. You're going to be playing right here.
Hey, got the wild berry pop.
But it's time for school. We are the Rugrats and... Okay. We are the Rugrats and...
You wanna be my friend? You gotta be loyal, you gotta be consistent, you gotta be there for me, you gotta respect me, you gotta love me.
And I was acting so light skinned too, bro. I wanted to be a pretty boy. I wanted to look cute and be funny. It was definite. It was I can't even call it a dark time. It was a light time.
It was a light time in history for you.
Yeah, and that kind of set me on the trajectory because I remember I got my first little baby email because I had people who did it got a little bit bigger and they're like, bro, just put a business email up. I didn't know nothing about that at the time. That's okay. Put it in my bio.
How old were you? What?
This was
high school?
This was freshman year. So I was,
okay.
I don't remember how it was. I was like 16, 17, something like, no, maybe a little, yeah. But I put a business email up and this company reached out to me. They were like a hand warmer company. Like, like the hand warmer, so random.
Word.
Had nothing to do with my videos. But they're like, if you act like you're using this in the video, we'll give you $50. And that was it. So they sent it to me. I got it, and I did some little skit where I just showed it for 10 seconds, like I was outside, and boom, got paid, and that was the start of my whole journey with like internet money. Something as simple as that. Had nothing to do with I had nothing to do with a hand warmer, but that $50 changed everything.
Okay, so what did that look like? First of all, what was the kind of pressure in your head to come up with something that you only had for 6 seconds? Because I remember when Vine popped off.
Yeah,
everybody was trying to get on Vine. Some people, I ain't gonna lie, was mad whack. But I remember that you said that. I think honestly, that's where the transition videos came from too, though.
Right.
I remember transition videos like the first 3 seconds would be like one thing, and sometimes it'll like shift into like something else because you hold it down to record and hold it down and hold it down.
Jump cuts,
yeah,
like
facts, bro.
You couldn't have. There's no pause. No You're not allowed to say in a Vine.
Saying is a waste of a second.
Yes.
That's crazy, bro.
Literally, bro. And you have to get to the point. You have to be nonstop action. Because people's attention span were 4 seconds out of that 6.
Bro.
So you had to you have to start funny or start whatever theme you were going with from the moment they roll it. Because guess what? There's a million other 6-second videos that they can watch through.
Which is insane, though. Think about that.
Imagine how many videos you can go through in a minute. That's 10.
That's 10.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's how much time.
I never did the math on that in my life.
Yeah.
Like imagine if you spent an hour on Vine. You know how many videos?
Exactly.
That's crazy.
So imagine if like people like me, you wanted to put out, bro. You would put out at that time. See, nowadays with YouTube, you have to really work, edit, do all that stuff. That takes hours, sometimes months, depending on this. Yeah. Vine, you can put out 150 videos in a day.
It's insane.
And you got somebody really dedicated to watching you in those second spans all day long in a million different scenarios. So you can see how creative you had to be. When you put out an idea, you got to put out 50 to 60 times that in one rotation.
That's impressive. Kudos to you for taking it seriously. I just did some with the homies. I made a couple Vines, just chilling at school, you know what I'm saying, doing stuff.
Yeah, and it's fun though.
It was fun. It
was low commitment, low maintenance, and you didn't have to be fancy. Nope. You didn't have to have a production.
Because that's what YouTube still owned that.
Right.
YouTube still owned the side of, if you're gonna actually do something,
right,
that's YouTube.
Or get a compilation of all the things you did and put it on YouTube.
Yes, that was all belonged to YouTube. Vine was just this life altering kind of
bro.
Right. That was okay. Okay, so after you got that email, you did the hand warming video. Mm-hmm. What happened next?
So after that, that's when, you know, just how like back when you were a kid and your parents didn't want you to play video games, you'll never make money off this, whatever. Mm-hmm. I told my parents, like, I can make money off this. And, you know, they got behind it. There's not much equipment and stuff you needed, but they got me a better phone.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they upgraded me. I think it was, I don't forget which iPhone it was, but I remember like the quality didn't change because, like I said, there's only so much you can tell. But at that time, I started reaching out to people. I got on Twitter at that time, and I started reaching out to other creators and asking them, like, hey, how do you get bigger? You know, how do you get bigger sponsorships?
Smart. Reaching out to other people.
And then the whole era of collaboration. That's why if you go back and look on Vine, the best videos were like 8 or 9 different Viners.
Yes, and so I remember that.
Yeah, and that was the culture I miss, especially about social media. Like right nowadays, everybody's in it for themselves kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And back then, Vine was like, hey, there's enough to go around for all of us. I mean, 6 seconds, we can, you know, cram up everybody. You weren't scared to do collab and stuff. So I remember I got in, started collabing with people, started working, taking it serious, started doing super Vines that we called them in LA, where we meet up with a bunch of people.
Wait, you did that?
Yeah.
Bro, okay, I remember that. It was like a whole thing, bro.
We would like the hotels would sponsor it, and they would pay us like a week, a bunch of Viners, and we would just be in the lobby or out in the street. It's not even like production. We would be out just doing random Vines.
So y'all basically just, it's like a meetup.
Yeah. If you go and look at a lot of the Vines, you'll see them in hotel lobbies and whole hallways because people would just go in their room, come out, do Vine, go knock on the door. Hey, you trying to collab? And it's easy collab. It's just like having a voice, yeah. And past that point, I was getting like $3,000 a week, bro. Imagine being a sophomore in high school getting $3K a week.
Wait, this is when you were a sophomore in high school?
That I think that was my prime on Vine. Like I can post me sitting down laughing and getting like 100,000 likes. It was stupid. It was stupid cloud. Yeah, it was. That was my golden. If I can go back to that version of me, is way more successful than this version of me because it was just so easy.
Why?
Because it was a gray area.
Yeah, 'cause it was new.
You didn't have pricing. Now people got pricing on videos. Back then, these companies were just seeing like, "Whoa,
just throwing money."
Yeah, I'm about to pay $3 million to get a Super Bowl ad when I can pay this Viner $10,000 for 6 seconds, and he's gonna get the exact audience I want because I'm gonna look at based off what kind of content he makes.
So how did you manage the early success? I guess. Then?
To be honest, I didn't. It was so fast that, like, mind you, that was all supposed to be tax income. That was all supposed to be managed. Yeah. I didn't know nothing about my parents knew more than I did, but I would get so much PayPal. Like, my bank account was PayPal. So I had a little PayPal card, and that's it. I didn't touch a bank account. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was broke on paper. I couldn't. Like, I remember even right here in Marina Valley, La Pacifica Apartments, I couldn't get approved, and I was making like 6 times the rent every other week. And I could not get approved because it's just like
because it wasn't done right.
Yeah, and it's not. They see it as you can make $3,000 one week and then $2 the next.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what happened when Vine died. My income died with it. Jeez. So there's no deals or there was no contracts. There was no promises. It's like, oh, you're relevant or you're not. That is how important Vine was. That 6 seconds of fame. So literally.
How literally 6 seconds. So how so in perspective, how long did that last for you?
For the full lifespan of Vine, so I'm gonna say like 4 or 5 years, 4 years.
I was like, you was balling.
Oh yeah.
And my man was in high school balling.
Oh yeah, like I was. Yeah.
Okay, like, so what did that look like? Like
it. To be honest, it was. I'm such a giving person. I probably could have taken more advantage of myself, but I was like, it's almost like I made it to the league and I want to help out everybody in my family. So I was sending money here, paying this car notes, and I didn't care. I didn't have the value.
A man of the people.
Man of the people. Because I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? And also my mindset and my immaturity, granted, I could have put it into, now that I know investing and all that, I would have been up.
You would have been up.
Oh, yeah. But,
what?
But, you know, I don't regret it because I didn't know no better. But at the same time, it's like, you know, that's the power of the people around you. You know what I'm saying? And that's the importance of having people who know how to work with finances to set yourself up, because it can go away. It's almost like I just got a $50 million deal with the Lakers, and I tear both my Achilles and I can never play basketball again.
Yep.
That's gone.
Gone.
And with Vine, it's even less control because I'm fine. I could have still made videos, but the platform disappeared because it couldn't sustain the amount of money that was going out.
That makes sense. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So what happened after that? After that season of success, and then R.I.P. to Vine, R.I.P. What was the next phase? So
what happened is I had all my eggs in that basket that I kind of got like discouraged. So in that era, all the smart people, like if you watch like King Botch and all them, they jumped to Instagram because Instagram was the only the closest thing to those videos. So they just took their audience with them. My Vine account retired with like 580,000 followers. Sheesh. So that 580,000 would have probably followed me to other platforms. Yep. But I dropped the ball because I was so, I guess, hurt that didn't, you know, in my head, I'm like, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. You feel me? I was like, that was it. But I didn't jump to Instagram when people did. And what I did is, oh, there comes YouTube. Mind you, I kind of had different avenues in my Vine. My Vine genre was all over the place. I had video games, I had skits, I had comedy, I had whatever. I'm excited to see some videos, bro. Yeah, it's kind of cringe. Well, nowadays it'll be cringe. Oh, of course, now it's cringe. I'm like, bro, what was I trying to be? I will do video for video. I'm gonna post one of your videos on here, and then I'll show one of my embarrassing videos. Please. All right, I got you. I don't know if you can talk, but mine was cringe, bro. I was like, so you trying to look cute? Oh my god. Bro. Oh, you hit the light skin like them. You see this ring light? Bro. I'll be kissing the ring like how close I'd be with it like this. That's crazy. Yeah, that's how it was. Like, it was serious. I hope send that one in. Yeah, because you got a lot of attention. Think about it. You got to because that was the closest you can get to a celebrity. I remember a crazy memory when I actually moved to Vegas for like a year, and I was posting it on Vine, and I got off the train, and there was like 4 girls that wanted me to sign Snapchat when it was new. Take a picture and sign the Snapchat. And I had everybody on the other train looking at me like, who is this? They're thinking I'm a celebrity. Yeah. But I'm not. I'm nowhere near it, right? But either the older people who are on Vine are like, who is this guy? And they're all taking pictures and signing. And, you know, you feel like the man. Funny. You know, you feel like the man. But then it's like, you hope that the other people don't ask, well, what do you do? It's like, I post Vines. You know what I'm saying? You it's not, I don't know. I'm not going to say nothing to be proud of. It's just because then they, let me see some of your work. And he like, yeah, I'm like this. Like, come on. No. He's like, bro, it was definitely 100%. Yeah, man. It's funny even thinking about it. It's funny even thinking about it. But it did project me into like, man, there's no better feeling than making money while you sleep. Yes, literally every view that's going to come in while you're sleeping, you're 8 hours in the bed. Especially because at the time, so when Vine died, I worked at Amazon. Okay. So I went from full freedom to like lockdown. Amazon will work you. You know what I'm saying? Okay. You get paid good, but you working for it. And I would compare it to my head. You know, I'll get my check, whatever it was, and I'll be like, I could have did 4 Vines and got this. Wow. And played video games and sat down or traveled or do anything for all the hours I put in. Yep. I work 1 8-hour shift. How many Vines could I have made in that? Jeez. So did you begin to spiral? Right. So then I jumped into YouTube because I have to get a taste of that again. And then I remember playing a video game with my homie, and my homie's like, "Bro, hold on. Before we get into that, I want to hear about that spiral mentally because I know a lot of people go through that kind of spiral." Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking, you know, that was my shot when Vine died, and I'm like, yo, you know, I should have jumped to Instagram and listened to everybody who told me. I was, you know, ignorant to that, but got a regular job. You know, started working. It was during peak season, and if you guys don't know what peak season is, that's when Amazon ups those hours to like 12 hours a day to make the Christmas like deliveries and stuff. Gotcha. So you got to work. And then on top of that, I didn't just go into a regular Amazon job. I went into an Amazon job where they track your performance. So you have to hit a certain amount of boxes or packaging or picking or whatever the case may be, or you can get fired. Therefore, you can't slack off. You know, other jobs you can chill for a couple seconds. No, your number, even if you go to the bathroom, it's called a run rate. Your number goes down. and you get a write up if you're not performing enough. So if your stomach hurt, and you know you got to take
having a bathroom day.
Yeah, you got to work hard to have that run rate at like a 70, and as it ticks down, you have to be in the bathroom and make sure you go out. And your break starts from wherever you are in the warehouse. Those warehouses will be like 3 blocks. So you have a 15-minute break. By the time you get to the break room, your break's up, and you got to be back, or your run rate starts again.
And in the back of your head, you're like, bro, where I used to be.
Yeah, literally, like, it made it worse. It almost took me into depression because I'm like, how did you let yourself get here when you were so up? You know, it's almost like I felt like I won the lottery and blew the money. You know, I'm like, man, you know, and at that time, as I'm working, I'm maturing, listening to other people, or people are investing in real estate, people are putting Roth IRAs, people are doing stuff with the money they had. I didn't have a value of the dollar because it was so fast. I didn't, and I didn't even think now, even like in at the age of 30, I'm like, man, those dollars that I didn't even think about back then, now I'd do anything for.
Yeah.
You know, I would do anything to sit down at home and make $3,000 to be with my family, to be able to travel and not have to clock in anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, even now, and it's, you know, I'm blessed that I still have an avenue of that income. It's just how excessive that income was, bro. I would, you know, like $3,000 a week as a sophomore, bro. That mean I didn't have to ask my parents for nothing.
I was just about to say, like, that's a different life, bro.
Yeah. I literally felt like I was silver spoon. I felt like I was like a celebrity's kid. You know, like, you know, if I want these shoes, I was never materialistic like that. Like, I wasn't buying shoes and stuff, but I just knew I had it.
Yeah.
When I wanted my car, I got it.
In PayPal.
Yeah. What I'm saying, I should have, all the money I had in PayPal, I should have invested in the company itself.
PayPal would have crashed, bro.
Bro, literally. And the thing is that, and mine was such a small scale. Like, I had homies that were making like 4 or 5 times what I was making.
That's wild.
So imagine being my age, making like 15 or 20 a week, bro. Like, people, and then trying to be a student, trying to say, okay, I'm trying to be in college, or trying to do normal with that coming. You're not gonna want to. Oh, what am I in school for?
Josh, as a sophomore, making $3,000 plus a week. Boy,
Without clocking in,
without clocking in, having so much free time,
living your life and getting paid to live your life.
That's crazy.
And that's where I went into like super depression working. And first of all, working at Amazon already for me, it was just against my I couldn't use, I had to dormant all my creative flow.
Yeah.
Everything. There's nothing creative about opening and closing a box.
Especially from a creative to do that, that's a tough time.
Yeah, so I felt like I was in a mental dungeon while doing labor that I wasn't even used to. And then sitting there and being like, wow, like you missed out on that. So then what happened is it kind of reversed, motivated me to get back, because I absolutely hated my situation so much that I was like, I'm gonna find some way to do it. And then I went to YouTube.
Don't mind me, but I have allergies right now. I know y'all see me wiping. I'm wiping. My eyes running.
He's just emotional because it's a story.
I'm like, oh, we crying. Oh my god! I'm so sorry. You lost the money.
It's so beautiful. The story.
I'm not having allergies, but go ahead.
And then I went to YouTube, bro. And after that, I remember the hardest work I ever did. Remember, Vine was no work. Like everybody says, you know, with other things in the creative space now, you got to grind.
Oh, 1,000%.
It's not handed to you.
Nope.
Back then, it was handed to us. There was a lot of people on Vine that just got lucky that the platform existed, because they weren't really doing nothing. It's just almost like you have no skill and I threw you in the NBA. You can't even shoot a ball.
Yeah.
But just because the NBA is open enough to enough people, everybody can get in.
Yeah.
So now with these creative spaces, because people saw what happened from that era, they hop in and now it's competitive, you know?
Yep.
And I hopped into YouTube. I already had my idea of how, you know, I had my connection still. I had the reach. It's just,
when you say connection, what do you mean?
Like peers. I had people in every single industry of entertainment because I did Super Vines, or I went and did E3 with the gaming event, or we would go to different places where I network with people and just keep them in the back pocket kind of thing. You know, I never really pressed or asked, like, hey, you know, with your followers. But because I never did that, you know, we had good reputation. So with YouTube, I hopped in. I went straight for a network, and it just took off, man. I remember posting a video, and my homie hit me, and he was like, bro, do you see your video? And mind you, I didn't even think yet, because I'm still working. Yeah. So I would go to work. I'd come home. I'd record. Wow. Now I'm working because I'm tired. This is the moment I need to sleep through the next day. Yeah. But I'm like, this has to work.
You grinding, oh yeah.
Yeah, that era was probably the most grind intensive I ever had in my life. Especially because I'm coming from Vine where it's 6 seconds to nothing. These YouTube videos have to be minimum 10 minutes to get paid on. Then I have to make partner to get ads, and then I have to select these. It's just a way more steps to even get a penny. Yeah. And then what sucks is you can put in 9 or 10 hours in the whole process and not get paid a dime if you don't set it up right. Wow. Versus with Vine, instant gratification.
It's just instant gratification.
Bro, air fryer. Literally air fryer versus crock pot. Literally.
Facts.
But imagine you put something in a crock pot.
Dang, that's a bar, bro. I love that.
And now imagine with YouTube at that time, because it was still newer, imagine you put all the ingredients, the time into preparing whatever you put into crock pot, and when after that 7 hours, there's nothing in the crock pot. Yeah. Versus the air fryer, in out. That was the comparison that I kind of learned, and when YouTube took off, like that was it, man. I got locked back into it. I got to a point where I was able to quit Amazon, and then for 6 years after that, that's all I did. YouTube, and it was just video games.
So what was your first video that you ever posted on YouTube?
It was a game called The Division, and it was like this little shooter game, and everybody used guns and shot, and I used an explosion thing, and everybody thought that was like the coolest thing in the world. People figured like, oh, this dude's bringing a unique take to a video game, and that was it. And then I got sponsored by Ubisoft, and
wait, what?
Mm-hmm. Wow. Still currently. So after when that Division game was when it was out, they wrote this. I'll even link you later. They wrote this whole article on how I played the game because it was like a unique take to it. And then after that, that's all she wrote. I kind of just, to be honest, my whole YouTube is kind of based around Ubisoft and all their games. So they send me stuff. They flew me to Seattle. They took us to Oakland, and we play testing. And that's kind of where I'm at now. So now it's less about content and more about representation of a brand. So play testing and technology, they'll send monitors, they'll send this stuff, and it's basically my audience seeing me use a product. So it's product placement now.
Yeah, of course.
So it's complete opposite spectrum where I was the product on Vine versus me representing a product now. So it's a more mature take on social media, and I kind of think that's like kind of where I'm probably gonna stick to.
Nice. Okay, so through your journeys with Vine and with YouTube, what kind of, I would say, obstacles are like, because I know Vine was like a straight shot for you, but really, what was it? Like, did you battle mentally like, oh, this video's not gonna work, or I'm gonna record this video? Nah, that's not it, or is that? Oh, no, that's not it, or these people are gonna think of me if I post it like this, or like, well, okay. So I know when it comes to making anything with your face and representation, a lot of people can go through that mental grind of like, okay, I have to look like this, or no, I don't look good in that, or I shouldn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I dealt with, honestly, man, was the mental state that comes with feeling like you're a celebrity. And what I mean by that is it kind of consumes you. You know, my relationships, I can start to see them kind of wither because at a point I felt like I was, I guess, better than the next person, you know, because everything was handed to me during that era so easy that I just felt like I didn't take anything serious, right? I didn't know the value of a dollar. I really wouldn't get stressed over things I probably should be stressed over because I could just think it'll be fixed. I have the money, you know. Even in my relationships, in one of my past relationships, the attention, my partner got no attention. It's like I was so infatuated with the attention that I was getting online that became who I was. You know, the compliments, the likes. Even if I have a great day, if I don't get enough likes on this video, my day's ruined.
Wow.
And it sucked up like any joy I had. You know, I could have, I don't know, I could even in, for example, my high school graduation. I remember like that was a big deal for me because I can finally decide, okay, am I going to college or am I going to just full-fledged commit? Yeah. I remember I had posted a video and it didn't, and YouTube is really good at giving you like report cards of like how your video's doing in comparison to other videos. Yeah. And I had like a 40% decrease and it ruined my entire day. Like it ruined it. I'm supposed to be celebrating high school graduation. I can't separate life from that. Whereas at a job, even at Amazon, I can clock out and I go home and I don't think about the job. It's like you're forever clocked in and your performance is more than just the money. It's going to be your mood. If you have a good day on YouTube or on social media, you're good. If you have a bad day, you're bad, regardless of the opposite. I could have got married and I'm supposed to be on my honeymoon and my video of my wedding didn't pop off. Now I'm sad. You know what I'm saying? That was the biggest thing for me, bro. And even seeing it, even in myself looking back on it, it's like I would get to a point where if I had a bad streak of days, now I'm stressed on the next thing I post. Now I'm at that point where you're saying, oh, I recorded, that's not good enough. Even though it was probably good. It had to be perfect, which something I can't achieve. But my brain
Nobody
said
can, yeah.
right. But my brain said if you're not perfect, you're not happy, and that was the lowest part.
Okay, so I relate to that. So for me, my version of that aiming for perfection came with, as I stated in my first episode, and with this stuff in general, is that I aimed for perfection out of the worry of how much people are going to like it, how many people are going to view it, how people are going to receive it. That if, like, I put so much into this is what I want my life to look like. This is what I want my life to be, to the point that I did nothing. So for you were like stressing about trying to do it and get it together. That's how I was doing the same exact thing, to the point it halted me from doing something for a year. I pushed back making midweek motivational videos that I used to do all the time.
Right.
Before that, I sat on that idea for over a year because I was like, okay, it needs to look like this, or I need to have this kind of background. I need to make sure I say these things. Or I want to make, like, I need to make sure I have all the right hashtags. Then when it came to this stuff was sitting out on my patio right there, bro, for over a year.
It's crazy.
It was a whole bundle. Everything that I'm using right now was a whole bundle that just sat outside because I was stressed about, okay, do I know enough? Am I going to do this right? What if I do it and it fails? But this is my dream, and I want my dream to, like...
Well, half the battle starting, bro. And that's kind of like everybody's curse, right? You can't even get to the dream because the start of the dream has to look like what you imagine the end of the dream looks like.
Yep.
And it will never look like that. Just like, for example, you can't start your gym session with abs. If you feel like you out of shape, you're not going to start fully toned.
Nope.
You're going to start however you look and then get to that point. But that's almost like saying I'm not going to go in the gym until I see some natural abs just pop out, for some traps pop out, bicep. Yep. That's just what it is. And that was also my curse too, because, for example, like I said, from the Vine transition to Instagram, I wanted all my followers. I had 500,000 plus, bro. I had endless. I could post anything and instantly get likes and comments. But on Instagram, I didn't have an audience, so I had to work on migrating them over. I wanted that audience immediately there. I didn't want to do it, and I didn't. Which who knows where I would have been at?
Yeah.
Even if I took a quarter of what I took over, because Instagram paid like 10 times the amount that Vine paid. My whole trajectory of my life would have been different had I humbled myself, but I forgot how to be humble because I was so used to, I was already there. Yeah. You know, it's almost like I start a business and it's a super successful business, $1 billion business, and I start another business. I want that one to start just like that. It's just not going to happen. It's a new journey every adventure you take on. Every single one. And that was the biggest thing I dealt with, and I let a lot of people down in my opinion, because I feel like that was probably an era of my life where my greatest desire to bless and help everybody else, it probably would have been even easier to do had I done it. Had I looked past myself, had I looked past the idea that you have to be this person, this Jesimein, this, you know, because all my homies looked at me like, oh, he got followers, or, you know, the girls at the time, you know, it was a lot. And it was, I can, now I kind of get, like, in the sports world, how these 18-year-old, 19-year-old kids get drafted and their whole life changes, and some crash, some don't. I get it. You know what I'm saying? And not saying by any means I'm anywhere near that, but even a fraction of it, I could barely handle a fraction of it. I can't imagine if I walked into like 10 mil, 50 mil tomorrow. You know, it's good, brave a person as I think I am. You know, and that was the biggest thing I took from it.
So how did that transform into where you are mentally now?
So the transition went, mind you, I told you one of the biggest things is I had a fallout with an ex because I was so committed to the screen. I was literally neglecting everything else. After that whole breakup and thing happened, I went into relationship advice videos. So I curved my content. And it's, if you go on my Twitter right now, I started hard I would do like 5-minute long nonstop relationship advice videos on how to maintain a relationship because of a mistake I made. It just inspired me to save everybody else from that. It was more general, but it took me personal experience to get to that point.
Yeah, you turned your pain into a process to help other people.
And that became me for a long time. On Twitter, that's what I was known for, the relationship guy. If you go on my Twitter right now and you look at like my bookmarks, it's nothing but how to appreciate a person, or how to self-love, or how to be aware, or how to, you know, and that for a long time was my identity. I rebranded myself, less about me being a celebrity, but more about using my platform to help, because I had a voice. Yeah. You know, I say anything, there's going to be 50, 60,000 eyes that can see it. So if I say something negative, that's spread.
Yep.
Say something positive, and I chose the positive route, and it kind of matured me, because Vine was more playful content, YouTube was gaming, and then Twitter became like the adult version of what I feel I am. Speaking life into people. Yeah. Using it, it's not about me and how I look, and Vine was the era of how I looked and how people thought. Then YouTube was just more of I guess a hobby, a paid hobby. I just enjoyed video games, so I like being in the space. And then Twitter turned it into, what can I give back? Because I didn't give nothing from Vine besides a couple laughs. Sure, you could say you contribute laughs to the world. Yeah. Video games, you can give a couple advice and tips and tricks on a video game, but then I got to a point where I can really make a difference, I feel. And even if I didn't see it directly, I know somebody out there, for some reason, God will put it in front of them, that video that they need to hear about loving yourself or moving forward or just doing anything that has to involve with whatever situation they're going in, even if I didn't know. Yeah. Especially, I could have just woke up and had it on my heart to talk about loss. And somebody who lost watches that, and now they take that as a sign.
That's a beautiful thing.
And that's what and I got paid the least out of all those ventures on that. To be honest, I've gotten paid technically zero directly from that because Twitter doesn't pay anything. Yeah. But my drive, it didn't matter. My mindset changed. So then I became like, well, I enjoy helping. And then, bless on the back end with YouTube. YouTube became the finances, and Twitter just became using the audience I have to just help.
To better the world. Yeah.
And however I can, whether it be a small slice or a big slice, it was just more, it just felt good to go to sleep knowing somebody is going through something that's going to come across my video, and hopefully it makes them feel better.
And that's such a fulfilling thing to be living your life by, to drive your life doing. That's why I'm doing this podcast right now. That's why I have you on this podcast right now, because I know your heart. I know, I understand you, and I know how your mind functions. And I didn't know that part about how you were on Twitter doing that, though. Yeah. That's awesome.
And it's crazy because that's the least one I talk about. Like when people ask me, like, oh, what do I do, or how do I get paid from internet? I never bring up that. I see that as my humble side, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not showing that part off. I want that to stay natural and as genuine as it is. That's why if I had ever anybody told me, oh, well, you want to turn that into a business or anything, like, even for me, it wasn't about that. Because in college, I wanted to be a marriage and family therapist. So throw that little nugget in there. Okay. Because during that time, that's what I was doing.
That's what I was going through, yeah.
So then I was like, you know what? Mind you, I went from an era of Vine where I did not want to have anything to do with a job or school. Yeah. I just get paid. This is what I want. Then I went into the YouTube era where I understood what it was to work a job. I'd rather not work a job if I don't have to. Yeah. I want to work this job that I know is only there to help somebody. Yeah. Because the money can come other ways, And then I got to this phase where I'm at now. Like, I appreciate the dollar. I appreciate the stance I have. Yeah. And I know by doing those videos, the amount of knowledge that I've kind of gotten naturally, just as a man, is you can't cut a check anything bigger than what I've received from that, because it's the people I've helped, the stories. I have a whole email that people would just email like their testimonies or just how that video helped. They just reach out to me. Wow. And I get all these life stories, and I'm like, man, like that's beautiful, And that's kind of where I'm at now. Now I'm kind of like in this zone where it's like, times are harder now after COVID and all this, and it's like, yes, money's important, but I take more pride in the fact that I didn't get lost in the fame, if you want to call it that, because it's not the money. Everybody's gonna want money.
Of course.
You don't go to work for free. So people play this off like, oh, about the money. No, the money matters. If I told you, what do you love, and you told me, and I said, if I would pay you for that, would you quit your job? You would. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's, I don't know, making cookies to making blankets to pancakes. Making pancakes. I hope you hear that. And now it got to the point where like I have my incomes, and it's like, well, how do I give back? The world's gonna pay me for what I do either way. Yeah. So what can I give back? Man. And that's kind of where I kind of fell on, and I'm not gonna lie, I look back sometimes, you look back in your glory days. Like I look back like when I was so full of myself, like bro, I was skinny, cut, fit, everything. But then it's like, there's immaturity that was with that. There was probably I didn't even know I had identity issues. I literally relied on other people to tell me who I was. And then whoever they wanted me to be is who I would be on camera for me.
It's because of what you were receiving from those comments.
Yes. And because they're not going to click who I want to be. They're going to click whoever they want me to be.
Wow.
And I would do it willingly, knowing it. I'm like, you know what? And it's crazy because it's a weird sensation that who they want me to be, if I do it, I feel happier being.
So basically, what I'm hearing is that you portrayed yourself as a light skin, but internally you're a dark skin.
Yeah. Right? I kind of bled the middle. That's why I'm like middle of the ground. But wow. I was never that. So, okay, I can't say I never was because I was. I acted like it. Okay. And the thing is even if I say I'm not a hateful person and I do hateful things, the people think I'm a hateful person. Even if I know I'm not, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Your actions speak louder than your words, what they say. So, but in the back of my head, I knew if I was not getting paid for this, would I be this person? No. I was never, because if that's the case, I still have my income. I would be that person now. But I'm not. I was never the person that, I want all the attention. I may have acted because that's what I had to do to get it.
Paid, yeah.
But when I look back on it, if that's who I was, I'd be proud of it. I'm not. I'm glad I grew from that. Because if you can hand me that lifestyle back right now, I wouldn't take it, even with the money. Because if I had the knowledge of what I have, it would be depressing. Because the thing is no matter what happened to me in life, it's depending on somebody else. That is the worst life you could live. Because you can be like, that's the thing. Happiness comes and goes. Emotions, but joy, you own that until you give it away. I can have the greatest day in the world, but if my joy belongs to somebody else, it can be robbed.
In an instant.
Oh yeah. No matter what.
Instant.
And that's the thing. You wake up your day and is it gonna be robbed today? You have no control. It's just like it's almost like stressing over like death. You don't know. Yeah. But I'm not gonna go outside. I'm not gonna drive today because I could get in a car accident. I'm not gonna get on a plane because it could crash you. You're limiting your life. No. That's almost like love. I'm not gonna love somebody because they could hurt me. You're never gonna be able to love them because it's a risk. If you risk nothing, you risk getting nothing. And that's what I grew from, getting that. Money was just thrown in there. Yeah. But it's,
it's a maturity process.
Yeah, 100%. 1,000,000%.
You went through a maturing process.
And it's like in the weirdest way because I didn't go the traditional. I still don't feel like I'm in a traditional route. Like I said, there's been times where I still, sit back and think like, man, what if I just quit my job right now and just go full-fledged hard content creation or this? Like
I support you.
Yeah, then exactly.
I'm here for it.
It's like, what is my reason for it? Is it creative reason or is it attention?
It's all about your why.
Right. And that's what the thing is. When I was younger, I didn't even have a why.
You did. Yeah. No, your why was getting paid.
Oh yeah.
And getting attention. And that is a weak and feeble, unstable why.
Right. And then the moment I gathered my why, I realized I wasn't that person. And here I am now. Now everything's more calculated. Now nothing has to suffer in order for me to get that. All my relationships suffered during that era. All of them. I apologize to anybody who loved me during that time because you guys, you were not valued at that time. Only thing was a username of a random comment was more valuable than a person telling me to my face how they thought about me.
Okay, so before we shift to a new phase, I want you to communicate to somebody right now that if you had to speak to your younger self,
let's see,
what would you say to them right now?
To younger Jesimein. If I was to talk to myself, younger Jesimein, I would tell you that your value that you wake up with is your own. And what I mean by that is regardless how you have felt when you woke up, you were still the cool, awesome, loving person, regardless of what that comment said, regardless of what those numbers said, and regardless of what you felt you had to prove to other people. And I think when you realize that, because you will, obviously, I know, you will feel free. You're supposed to enjoy what you do on Earth,
authentically.
And there's no reason. And best thing I could tell you, younger Jesimein, is you don't have to be somebody else to be successful. And you're not a chameleon, you're a human being. You know, you don't have to just blend in with everything regardless of how you felt about it. Your viewpoint is valid. Regardless of what people say or what they do. And I think I just heard myself in the past, and I remember me telling me this today, and I got to the point where it's like I definitely realized like monies can come and go, and everybody says it, right? You can make $1 any day.
Yep. But
your character and what you live with, I can be rich and miserable, and that's a true lifestyle, attainable, because people could do it by legal means or illegal means.
Exactly.
I would much rather have joy and think that I'm broke, because I'm not broke. You know, you're not. People think that because they don't have a certain thing that they're not where they need to be. I don't need to have. At that time, I needed to have sports. I don't need none of that. I'm here now, and I don't need none of that. You know, I don't need the best J's, because I'm who you wearing those Jordans for, yourself or the people looking.
Wow. And
that was me. Everything I got wasn't because I wanted it. I just wanted other people to validate it.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's healthy. Even if you look fresh.
Yeah.
Even if you are the coolest, cool. But how do you feel about yourself? Because when you go to sleep at night, you're with you. You're not with them.
I say that to people all the time.
And that's probably the thing I'll tell myself. Like, stop living for everybody else, and you'll be happier. You're able to be happy broke. Even if you became broke, you'd be happy.
And that's for anybody in any walk of life,
Literally.
any age of life. It's never too late to change the path that you're on, to live a life where your joy, where your self-worth and your value is not rooted in other people's perspectives.
Exactly.
It's never too late to make that change.
Like, and it feels so good, because it's like when you have control of your joy, like, you feel untouchable. Like, you literally feel untouchable.
It's so accurate.
Yeah, and it's like
anything can happen.
Yeah, like, I can go to work tomorrow and somebody come in with a horrible attitude and cuss me out, and my day not be ruined.
Not for a second.
Like,
I honestly feel bad for them.
Literally,
like,
I'm in such a
through?
place with me that instead of taking it as an offense, I would feel for them.
Yes.
And I'll go home and be happy. Versus if I don't have control of that, I have to worry about what tomorrow brings. And worry is the worship of the devil, bro. Like, worry is such a stupid concept.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, well, I'm worried. For what? What do you...
You can't control what's coming.
Like, you can't.
You can't.
Like, there's nothing you can do. So, and I think that is the most freeing thing. Like, I give every dollar I ever made back for this mindset earlier.
Wow.
Because that mindset that I have now would open up the very thing that I think I would be losing if I didn't have it. Money, attention. Yeah, I have money and attention. I just have more quality. I have quality attention. I have people who love me, who are around me, and I'm around people who actually will like me offline.
Yeah.
You know, and you just can't put a price on that, bro. At all.
So with you and how you, what I keep hearing is a constant pattern of you taking what you've gone through to help shape what you go into. And with that, how have you developed, I guess, in a sense, what your branding is per se now in this phase of life? How did that develop? How did that change? Did you try to move away in a sense? And what did that transition look like to be like, this is who I am now. This is what my brand stands for right now. And this is how it's going to be moving forward.
So when it comes to like my branding of like when people ask like, what do I necessarily do with social media? Back then, it was just more about me as a person. You know, I wanted to be like the celebrity. Now it's more mature, like I said about earlier, product placement. And whenever I do stream, like jumping back to streaming, I try to integrate life lessons, motivational, kind of be like almost like barbershop culture. And what I mean by that is where people just feel comfortable to come and talk about anything.
Yeah.
I would open up my doors of my stream, theoretically speaking, to people to come in, and there would be times I'll be in the middle of a video game and somebody in the chat will vent about something. But because of the community that I built based off of advice, like we'd all chime in and just speak life and love over this person. Mind you, I'm I don't know, whatever. I'm playing Call of Duty on Warzone, about to go for win, clutch situation, and we will all just stop and really speak life into a viewer that's just lost his wife, or or just lost his home, or just whatever, and we would just speak life and try to give as healthy of guidance as we possibly can. Right? We're not licensed therapists, but just the whole premise it's not necessarily what exactly you say, it's your intent behind it. And if you speak with love, they'll receive what they need to. Not every word may land.
Yeah.
But my content, like that I put out, you know that when you go there to watch, let's say you're at work and you're having a long day and you want to watch a stream, you enjoy a game. You get to enjoy the game while getting life spoken into at the same time. That is me. The positive gamer, the whatever I do. Yeah. And I try to find avenues and work with creators and work with companies who can appreciate that vision, and that's why content's kind of slowed, because a lot of the major companies' focus isn't that, and that's kind of why I've been kind of falling a little bit back from it. But in the moments that I'm able to, I take full advantage of it, and that's what I'm known for now. My community used to see me, oh, he's a beast at the game. It's changed to just a healing spirit to be around. Wow. And to bring other healing spirits into like a hub where there's friendships that are made in my chat that have been there for years since. I'm talking about 6-7 years where they've hung. It's crazy. Like I'm like, wow, like you guys, like somebody went through it in my chat and had the experience, and because they were planted there, because I attracted them to that chat, they were able to speak some advice that I could have never gave to a person on experience.
Wow.
And that is like my ultimate. You want to know my end game?
That was my next question. Is what's the projecting looking like?
My end game is really just to create just like a network of people who are able to blend positivity into every aspect of their creative force, every aspect, and make it selfless, because it's just like the original Vine culture, bro. It was like, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. Your collab is my collab. Your audience is my audience. Now everybody wants their own. Now everybody needs to be credited on this. Or it's like you see so many creators nowadays like hating and trying to be selfish. Like just like right now on YouTube, you can't even post like a 10-second audio of a song without the label claiming your entire video.
Yep.
Like that's, to me, it's like you don't see how selfish that is. This person probably put 20 hours into this video, and all 20 gone for 10 seconds of audio that's technically promoting you.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
And that culture is what I'm trying to stay away from.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's the paying culture. And that's kind of why overall social media for me is darkening as far as just like mentality. And that's my aspect, is to just bring selfless people together,
bring that light, and
make that the viral. Make, like, how many times you see these prank videos that are terrible that go viral? Bro, I saw one of dude walking into somebody's house, like, bro, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's not even a prank
at all. That's assault, bro.
That's a prank.
Right. And then it's like, okay, opposite spectrum. Well, you want to see better? Then you see, the homeless video where they're giving them money. That's not even genuine to me.
I know, because that's the recording part. That if someone caught you on video, different.
Right.
But to be like, hey.
And that's where my vision is. It's actively being positive in a way. Like if I go online and I'm just, hey, vent to me. I'm here. What are you guys going through? Just to be heard.
Yeah.
There's nothing ingenuine about it. It's not like I'm just doing it. No, because I'm not saying donate to me. I'm not saying pay. I want just there should be a whole website where if you're feeling something, you can go to and somebody can talk to you. And it's like, instead of paying for a therapist or whatever the case may be, just to go receive life for free.
You should go make that happen, bro.
Working on it, bro. And it's like, this is another one, just like you said. This is an idea that's been sitting in my trunk.
It's time to activate it.
And it's like, everything happens for a reason. And we're in an era where it needs it, bro. And, and that's why I'm honored to even come on this platform, because it's like, this is another, it's like seeing a version of what I want in the stage, like just to be here, just the atmosphere, and for it to be received and just even appreciate it, and that's kind of where I fall in, and I feel like you're absolutely correct. It needs to just happen. I need to get up and do it. If I'm really serious about putting that, it's like implanting myself, and and God will handle everything else.
Absolutely.
You know, I ain't worried.
I ain't worried about
none at all. And that is Jesimein. That is what I want and aspire and am working towards. And I know it's real because I'm working a regular job during the process.
Yeah.
Then that's not what I wanted to do. But I have to be realistic. You know, back then I wasn't. And plus I didn't have bills.
Yeah.
Bills, I don't care what dream you got, bills come with it.
Straight up.
Always.
Straight up.
Always. And you have to be smart.
Yeah.
You know, realistic. People think that a dream is gonna fund itself. It's not.
No.
And you're gonna have to humble yourself in the meantime until whatever God has for you opens up. And I think that's where I'm at. I'm at the point where it's like I'm humble, working, and saving up for whatever I need to get. And then when I get there, it's like I fulfill my purpose. You know, and that is the ultimate. That's the ultimate catch. That when that purpose check clears,
game changer.
Yeah, you are mentally, spiritually rich.
And the beauty of it is, through your story that you've been breaking down today, is that you're on. That's what's next.
Yeah,
like you said, it was Vine, then there was that whole Amazon transition, then YouTube, and now you're saying that you're right now back into that working in that 9-to-5 grinding position with the dream on your back.
And here comes the climax.
Let's go.
Yeah, and it's super exciting, but it's also scary because it's like I have no excuse with all the lessons I've learned till now. When I was a kid, that's why I'm not even mad at young Jesimein. I'm not mad at you because of your decisions, it got me here.
Yeah,
you know. But just like I saw Medea say it, like there is a reason why the rearview mirror is smaller than the windshield, because your focus should be what's in front of you.
What?
But don't remember what's behind you. You're gonna miss your exit.
Say that one more time.
There's a reason why the rear view mirror is smaller than the windshield. You can see what's behind you. You see what you passed. You don't forget it, but your vision should be on the bigger, what's in front of you. Because if you look in that rear view mirror too long, you're going to crash. And that's real. Or you're going to miss your exit. You probably, this is the thing.
You can't get to where you want to go if you're looking back.
100%. And people are looking at that rear view mirror so much and stress about them not being there, you missed your exit. You just detoured. Now you got to reroute. And that's nobody's fault but yours.
Got to keep your eye forward.
Yep.
Focus forward.
Every time.
Not behind. What's behind you lets you know where you came from.
Right.
But what's ahead of you is going to project you to where you need to be.
Yep. And you don't even know, like, your exit could be the next one. It's your turn. It could be your turn next. And because you were so worried about you're worried about the passenger seat, you worried about what's behind you, what was up in it, you missed your turn.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I felt many times in my life that I've been at. I was so busy looking at what I was, what numbers I was, what identity I had, the money, that I missed my turns. It would have been a whole different version of testimony right now. We would have been in some other dimension talking about it. But I'm not complaining and I'm not worried about it because there's a reason why I'm not there, and I feel like I'm mentally being prepped to where I don't have an excuse. Like now I'm locked in. Like I'm locked in already because I've already humbled myself. Now it's just more, okay, so get in position because when your turn comes up, you have to jump. You have to. And that's just where it's at. Social media, fame, money, whatever you want to call it, whatever you chasing, your why, your purpose, your reason behind it is going to overlap that no matter what.
Absolutely.
Because I've seen people who went from, relevancy is not yours to own.
It's not.
You could be irrelevant tomorrow. Your trend can end tomorrow. That is the point of a trend. And if your entire character is a trend, that means you have expiration date. I want to be a concept. I want to be a realization for the culture. I want to be I want to be a mindset that's healthy. Because one thing that never goes out of style is healthy.
Never.
Ever. Mentally, physically, emotionally. Healthy is an end goal. I don't care what you do in life. I never met a person who doesn't aspire to be healthy in any form. And if they don't, then there's something wrong.
You got to stay away from that.
Yeah. So that's just where it's at. And social media is a dangerous game. But
that's why you're here to change it.
Yep. We got to stop. We got to stop allowing ourselves to settle for validation. Mm-hmm. Validation is not your friend. You should be sure. You shouldn't. Validation is only acceptable if you're questioning. I'm not questioning Jesimein. I know who he is. I live with him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And once you know, just like you know who Josh is.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you, hey, your name's Abraham. No, it's not. I'm Josh. Nobody can question that.
Nope. They can't take it away from me.
But the moment I start confusing you, you don't know who you are. And that was me. I didn't know who I was. I thought I did. I was whoever they needed me to be.
Mm-hmm. But now today, you are who you need to be.
I am Jesimein, and one, I'm not getting tired playing Jesimein. This, that, light skin, trend, whatever. I am one body, one mind, and you address me as such.
And there you have it. And there you have it. I'm talking about endless nuggets this entire interview. But I'm gonna have to watch this back myself quite a few times because some of the things that you've said, some of the perspective that you've dropped, some of the authenticity that you have put out there for people to grasp doesn't even explain the success that's going to come your way because of the authenticity, because of the realness, and because of the necessity of people like you in the world. So before I get you out of here, is there anything that you want to leave somebody with, leave the viewer with before this interview comes to an end?
The final thing I could say is just like he said earlier, it's never too late. It will haunt you feeling like you missed your turn, and there isn't. There's always an opportunity. As long as you are breathing and you are able to even hear this, you are in prime position. Prime position doesn't disappear until you just don't do it. You know, I think a lot of us are stuck because we think, well, we took too long for this. We're too old for this. Well, we missed this opportunity. No, you start now, and I promise you won't regret it. There's only regret when you don't start. So, yeah, you're going to fail, but you guarantee it. Just like this, the oldest statement I've ever heard is you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. It's that simple. Yeah, you may miss, but you guarantee miss if you don't take it. You have nothing to lose, and take that shot every day. Because guess what? One day, it's gonna go in.
Oh, yeah.
And then guess what? Just like the people who win the lotto, they don't worry about when they were broke because they got the money. So once you make it, you're not worried about all the times you failed. If anything, you're thankful because that's what got you to where you're at. Simple as that.
Wow. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, man. This was amazing.
It's beautiful.
This was beautiful, yes, to say the least,
Chef's
man.
kiss.
Any shout outs for anything? Or people can find you on social media, anything like that?
Yeah, shout out to my beautiful love of my life, Zaina. And my second beautiful love of my life, Makai, my mom, my dad, my family. You guys are the driving force of why I'm just blessed to even be this individual. And if you want to follow me on social media, it's Jesimein at all platforms. You just Google it. It'll pop up. And hopefully you get a little nice little positive nugget whatever platform you look on.
There you go.
You know. Shout out to my man, Josh, for this legendary platform, man. This is going to be one of the main reasons that what I talked about today comes to fruition because of people like Josh. Like, just giving a platform to this speaks a lot about your character, bro.
Appreciate that.
And it's like you just feel God all over this, 100%. Like it's not even a question, you know. So it's about drive.
Hey, there it is. Hey, appreciate you, man.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Appreciate it.